Welcome back to What's Cooking from the Sainsbury's Kitchen, the home of great guests and good food that anyone could cook. Still to come this lunchtime, we know he can sing, we know he can dance, but can he milk a cow? I think he might be milking something somewhere. We're going to be putting JB's new farming skills to the test.
Plus, if you're looking for inspiration for what you're going to cook tonight, don't go anywhere, because Marcus is in our daily challenge and he might just have the answer.
And Rachel Allen is already making our mouth water just mentioning the rhubarb tartlet she's about to cook. But do they contain something Lewis Smith says he's really not too keen on? There's a challenge for you, Rachel. We're going to try and get Lewis to try them, more importantly.
Oh, Rachel, you'll rise to that challenge.
No doubt, no doubt. Lewis, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Last year was such an immensely impressive year for you. You won all sorts of awards. You did brilliantly at the Games, of course. But 2013 has started off pretty well too, because you've already been to the Palace. Yeah,
Buckingham, the Queen, Her Majesty. It was quite exciting. It's quite strange strolling in. Well, we didn't really stroll in. It was quite hard actually getting in.
What happened?
You're a little bit embarrassed about this.
Right, we got picked up in a nice executive car. It was all going really nice. My mum looked really beautiful. I invited my agent, who's actually a really good friend.
Because you're going to pick up an MBE?
MBE, yeah. And we got to the start of Buckingham Palace, the front gate, and the policeman says, "Right, can we have your ID and your invitations, please?" And his face just went white, my agent's face. And he said, "Oh, I forgot the invitations." And the policeman said, "Oh, don't worry." He said, "Oh, my wife forced me to watch Strictly. I know who you are."
Oh, that's really annoying. I really wanted you to have to turn around and say, "Don't you know who I am?"
But that wasn't the start. We got to the next set of security, and they asked for the invites. And I said to him, "Oh, look, you know, I haven't got them. Really sorry." He's like, "Go on, go in." The next set of security asked me.
So you've gone through two?
Oh my gosh.
Three security checks. And each and every one of them asked for my invitations. I didn't have them. I felt like such an idiot.
By the end, were you just going like this? This is my face.
I can't believe they actually let me in.
They've let me through this far. You see, your Olympic medals mean nothing. Strictly's what got you through.
Yeah.
The irony.
But my agent always says, "Oh, if it wasn't for me, you know, your profile, that's the reason why you ended up blagging your way in." That was his excuse for...
But Lewis, what did the Queen say to you when she was pinning your medal on?
She said, "Here's another one for your collection."
Oh, nice.
Which was nice. I think it's because it's a silver MBE. So.
and what was her handshake like? Was it?
Quite stern.
Was it?
Yeah, because there's certain ways you have to meet the Queen. You can't stick your hand out and shake it. You have to bow to her, and then when she puts her hand out, you shake it, but she kind of like. She shakes it and then sends you off.
Oh, so you know that you've got to go.
Yeah,
she
so you shake your hand and you kind of like, "Okay, I'll see you later."
And this is your actual MBE. Look at that. Can I take it out?
Yeah, sure.
Isn't this beautiful?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Wow.
That's really, really gorgeous, isn't it?
Have you worn it?
And look, it goes with my T-shirt as well.
Maybe you could keep it.
Can I?
I put it on I got all dressed up for the Brits and I put that on briefly and then took it off again.
Oh.
Just because I don't think I'd ever get to wear it again, so.
Oh, it's absolutely stunning. And what an honour as well. It must have been just the whole... I mean, obviously, forgetting your invitation is one thing, but getting in there and being at the Palace is just an extraordinary experience, isn't it?
It is, and to get that recognition, you know, because I didn't win a gold, and you know, people will probably think, you know, why is he getting
You should have won a gold, quite
you were
frankly.
robbed.
I was furious that they downgraded you. I can't believe that the audience, the crowd didn't storm the stage.
No, it was close, but I think that shows, you know, the professional side of gymnastics. If you can stand up and say, look, you know, maybe the best man won, and you know, I got an Olympic medal. That's such an iconic game.
Lewis, the best man, did not win.
No, and
not in our
Lewis,
eyes.
I just think you were amazing. I mean, me and my daughter watched you, and that last performance was just fantastic. You really put gymnastics on the map.
Glad you was having a good
It's amazing.
Petrified.
How was it? I mean, I can't imagine what the focus in there.
It was extremely nerve-wracking and very stressful because you have to try and ignore the fact that you've been training 19 years for this one opportunity. There's one opportunity to get it right in front of the millions around the world watching, and it's not just you that's put in the hard work. My parents have had sponsorship, you know, my coach, and it all came down to that one moment. And it's quite a hard job to try and block it out. I don't think a lot of people can do that.
Have you watched it back?
I have, once or twice. Yeah.
And what do you are you pleased with it? Do you think, you know, you could have done it better?
There's nothing in that routine that I could have done any better. That's the best routine I've ever done.
Isn't that amazing?
In training, in any competition I've ever done in my life, that is the best one. And to do that at that Games, I don't think I could ever replicate that.
Well, we were very proud of him, weren't we, everybody? There are lots of people in the studio here as well. I mean, it was
you.
an incredible moment, and as Lisa said, you put the gymnastics on the map, certainly for us in Great Britain. However,
there's something else we need to talk about.
Oh dear.
You did get the gold medal, strictly.
Oh yeah.
Which must, I mean, relative to the fear that you were in, you know, on the Olympic stage.
I mean, Strictly was completely different. It was such a nice reward to do something like that after the Olympic Games, because it was very stressful. And to go into something like Strictly, I had so much fun.
Yeah.
Everyone was so nice. It was just brilliant.
And how hard did they try to get you to take your shirt off? Because they didn't. Sorry, I'll just bring it back. But really,
you mean bring it down?
Bring it down.
Yeah.
Bring it down to the floor. But when we were watching you, I think it was only the last performance. But on Twitter, you did tweet a couple of pictures of you.
Very keen.
Shirt off.
Should we have a look? Here's one of them. Now then. Yes.
That's when I started following you.
And she hasn't stopped following you ever since.
I remember that day.
And what made you do that in the pants?
In the semi-finals,
Lewis Smith?
right?
Yeah.
Because everyone was getting spray tan throughout the whole season, Strictly. And I said, I don't need it, I don't need it. And everyone was like, come on, it's part of the experience. So in the semi-finals, I said, right, if I make it through into the finals, I'll get one. And then that was just before the finals.
So you had your spray tan.
I had my spray tan.
Everyone got to benefit from it.
We did. We all did.
Might say a little bit too much.
Yeah. Some more than others.
Lewis, we're delighted that you're going to be sticking around for lunch, and we're hopefully going to get you to try some rhubarb in just a few moments. Don't forget, we're after your lunchtime snaps. Not that I was thinking about rhubarb, having seen you in your pants.
Ben!
Oh, no. It was vegetables. No. Tweet us or email us the pictures of what you're eating right now. You can send them to @whatscookingtv or whatscooking@channel4.com. We've already had a few sent in.
Yes.
You're going to be very excited about this one. Boy George has sent us a picture. Lisa's a little bit excited and a bit of a fan.
I love Boy George.
He's had a sprouted chickpea salad with organic spinach, broccoli and pickles.
Do you know what? He's a fantastic cook. He tweets all his pictures of his lunches and they're amazing. We have to get him on the show.
Is that the sort of thing you could eat?
If I was really,
broccoli.
really hungry. Really hungry. Really hungry.
Like you hadn't eaten for months.
Yeah, really hungry.
Keep those pictures coming in. We'd love to see what you're eating right now. Lisa, right, head over to the kitchen.
I'm heading to the kitchen. I'm coming to see you, Rachel, because you're going to cook something new.
Yes.
And a bit of a treat as well.
A little bit of a treat, but really using 5 ingredients. This is it.
That's amazing. So what are you cooking?
Well, new season's rhubarb, and I'm serving it on these little almond tartlets that are incredibly sweet, very sweet as in nice, you know, not overly sweet, foolproof, but just really nice as a change rather than a crumble or a tart or something.
Fantastic. So what are the key ingredients then?
So rhubarb, sugar, ground almonds, butter and some cream.
That's it. So we've literally got 5 things, really.
Yes.
And where do we start?
Well, first of all, I'm going to make a syrup. Would you mind chopping up some rhubarb?
I don't mind at all.
Please.
I don't mind at all.
I'm going to put some sugar and water into the saucepan here.
Okay.
To poach the rhubarb. And, you know, you'll only need a tiny bit of rhubarb for this, but I normally poach a bit more than I need because I just love having leftover poached rhubarb in the fridge or even
I think
out.
you're right. I think it gets to the point that if you've got it in your fridge and you don't use it all at once, then you sort of end up with this floppy rhubarb and you don't use it.
Exactly.
Have it all and then you can put it on like your breakfast in the morning.
Great with natural yogurt, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Lovely. Okay,
So I've
there. Fabulous.
them.
Thank you. We can drop that in here into the sugar and water syrup. Thank you,
lovely.
Lisa.
Should put
And
that
at
in.
this time of the year, when it's the forced rhubarb, you know, it's grown kind of with a tunnel over it
Right.
to make it grow quite quickly. It's really pretty pink colour and it's very, very tender.
And then it gets redder, doesn't it?
And then it gets redder, even with a little bit of green going through it, and that's still okay. But it's really tender at this time of the year.
Yeah, and is it sweeter at this time of year?
It is a little bit sweeter. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous. So I'm going to bring this up to the boil. And the thing is, you know the way when you're cooking rhubarb, it goes from being undercooked to overcooked
Yes,
in just
really
about 10
fast.
seconds. So I'm going to bring it up to the boil and just boil it for 1 minute.
Okay.
Then take it off the heat and allow it to sit in the hot syrup. And it'll just go on cooking really gently, but it holds its shape.
Right, so we then don't end up with that mush. But if
Exactly.
we do, it
Yes.
doesn't really matter, does it? Because you can just mush it up and then you just make a different...
You can make a
pattern
rhubarb
with it.
fool, fold softly whipped cream through it. Gorgeous. Still on these
Fantastic.
tarts. Okay, so while that's coming up to the boil, I've just put a plate as a lid over it. I'm
Okay.
going to make the little almond tarts. Now, basically what these are, you don't even need a recipe for this. Equal quantities. Butter, sugar, ground almonds.
Do you know what? So
Caster
this
sugar.
is perfect for somebody who's not really done any baking before but wants to
Yes.
go into it. Great, we've got something really, really simple. Nothing that can go too wrong.
No, there is nothing. For people who say, oh, look, I really can't make sugar crust pastry or don't to the time or whatever, this is one. And also it's gluten-free.
Right.
Because it's ground almonds. So you see the butter's really soft.
Lovely.
That's the one thing to do. And then sugar and then the ground almonds can go in.
Oh my gosh,
Thank
that's
you.
it.
So bring it all together And I have an oven preheated to 180 degrees.
Okay.
And I'm going to cook these just in little blobs in this is like a mince pie tray.
Right.
And then they kind of spread out as they cook and they just turn gorgeous golden brown. That's it.
So it's really like sort of wet sand, isn't it?
Teaspoonful, yeah, it is, exactly.
Yeah.
Teaspoonful blobs, that kind of thing.
Oh, I'll give you a little.
And you don't even need to grease the tin.
So you don't grease the tin, and you also just squash them, and you don't need to flatten them down or anything like that?
No, they just spread out themselves naturally.
Gosh, that's amazing.
It's fab.
That's really lovely.
And these are really gorgeous. You know, they keep for a few days once they're baked.
Yeah, and
then
I suppose
whatever.
also, when you've got rhubarb out of season, you can do blueberries, strawberries, whatever.
Absolutely. Even jam and cream on top of these, you know, instead of fruit.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, really nice.
Fantastic. And I think cost-wise, I think you get sort of, I think it's like 3 tarts approximately for £1.
Yeah.
So it's not too.
And that's with
too bad.
with the fruit and the cream.
Great.
Really lovely. Okay, so they can go into the oven at 100 and... Oh, thank you.
I'll be your lovely
180
helper.
degrees. Thank you, Lisa. And then...
So they're 180 degrees. Do we have to watch them, Rachel?
Yeah, they do brown quite quickly. So they'll actually only take about 6-7 minutes. So just keep an eye on them. And actually these ones here, this is what I'm looking for. You see that really lovely golden brown
gosh,
colour?
they're gorgeous. So they just flatten out on their own?
Yeah,
and they're
spread out.
almost like little Florentines, aren't they?
Yeah, they are a little bit. And if you could take them out and you can just kind of help them out, you see, with a knife or something like this.
Yes,
and maybe we'll
Shall I
put 3 of them on one plate.
This beautiful plate.
Rhubarb has been boiling for 1 minute. Take that off the heat.
Lovely.
Turn that off.
And obviously use a lid if you can at home, not a plate.
Actually, I do end up using a plate.
Do you know what? Sometimes you have to. You needs must, but if you've got a lid, it's better.
So maybe just 3. 3 is probably plenty for one person.
Fantastic.
There.
Now,
and then, would you mind actually whipping some cream?
I don't mind at all. I'm going to put them over here.
Thank you.
I'll eat all of them later. And we're just going to whip up the cream. You don't want it too...
No, just quite softly.
Okay.
Yeah. There.
I think what's lovely about this recipe is that you usually think of rhubarb as a crumble or, you know, as a full. And it's just such a lovely idea to put them into little tarts.
Very pretty.
And those almonds, I think, will make such a great taste.
They're just great, just like that, as a little biscuit.
Yeah.
Delicious. Thank you. I'll just drizzle a little bit of this syrup around the side because it's a lovely colour.
And so, have you reduced that syrup at all, or is that just?
You know what? You could reduce it if it's looking a little bit watery. If you put in a bit too much water, just once you've taken the rhubarb out, just boil the syrup down a little bit, uncovered, and then if you like. But yeah.
But look how pretty this looks. I mean, just fantastic. Here, let's get this cream to actually.
Great. I've got a
whip a bit. You're going to go. You're going to actually. I think we'll be all right.
Okay.
We'll keep going. We'll keep whipping.
I'll spoon some cream on.
Put some muscle. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. There we go. It will suddenly go. But otherwise, we can just dollop on the top. It really does, doesn't it? It's
you
great.
think you might try it?
Lewis has just said to me, I have never ever tasted rhubarb.
Haven't you ever?
Oh, really?
It's quite iconic because my favourite sweets were rhubarb and custard sweets.
Oh, well, look.
Nearly.
Let's get this cream.
So nearly.
This is the moment you've been
Let's
waiting
get-
for all
there
your
we go.
life.
It was my primary school.
Stand away from all our clothes.
When my primary school did rhubarb crumble, it just didn't look.
Appetizing.
Really?
It looked like worms.
Oh no! Do you know what? I think we can do a little drizzle of the cream. And for all the details of Rachel's almond tartlets and all the recipes featured in today's show, head to thescrapbookchannel4.com/what's cooking. So there you have it, nearly. We've got Rachel's
Or even
beautiful rhubarb and almond tarts.
a little drizzle.
And that just looks gorgeous.
Just look at them.
Boys, are you salivating?
That does look good, I have to admit.
They look like jewels, don't they?
But they really do, and such a great new idea for a dessert. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Welcome, thank you.
Here.
Right, Lewis.
Right, you two boys.
Grab a spoon.
Lewis, you have to try it.
Right, you have to get my face reaction on camera.
Oh no.
It does look good though. Right, you ready?
There we go.
Poker face. Don't play poker with this fella. What do you reckon?
That's really good.
Is it?
Good.
Really good.
So you can scratch that off your list.
And delicious.
Might I have more?
Yeah.
Get stuck in, enjoy.
I didn't know if it was like...
Absolutely amazing. That is
tasty.
really, really, Rachel, thank you.
Oh,
That
you're
is
welcome.
amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I want to eat it all. Lewis is going to be sticking around for the whole of his lunch break. In just a moment, we're going to be putting him head to head against JB in a bovine challenge.
And we'll find out if Marcus can come up with a recipe that can be cooked in under 15 minutes for our very fussy eaters, JB and Lewis Smith.
Not so fussy anymore, of course, because he's just had his first taste of rhubarb. Make sure you stick around and find out if he can manage it in just a bit.